Hi folks, how you doing? It's old Des Catties. What I'm doing in this video is I just want to show you a little bit of selection and the early process of making a simple catapult before you actually band it up. What you just saw there is because there's only me now on the camera. What I've done was I found just over there's a fallen ash tree, and on the end of the ash tree there's some nice ash trees are normally quite good for producing natural sort of forks, wire forks for making a catapult. And what I've done was I cut one down, and what I want you to do now is just sort of sit with me while I just go through the early stages of carving it into a catapult that you can use for, you know, if you've got a set of bands in your pocket or carrying them in your rucksack. I'm going to show you how to just fashion a catapult quickly up so you can use it as a means of hunting or even just plinking. Alright, so we'll take a seat and you can watch me prepare this. Usual old Steven Spielberg prowess. Right, so we've basically selected a fork, nice green stick ash. I mean, ideally what I would do is, ideally I like to cut stuff from fallen trees or stuff that's down on the floor rather than it being green. If it's green, then what I normally do is take all the bark off and then put it inside a bag and then just leave it gradually season so it doesn't split out too easy. Okay, now normally when I select a catapult or a blank, normally for me what I'll do is I'll always cut them slightly bigger than they need to be. And as I say, I'll throw them in my day sack or my little snoogle bag or whatever it is I'm carrying them in. And then normally what I do is when I get home I'll throw them all into a pillowcase in my shed and I'll leave them there, and I'll leave them there and leave them there for months at a time until they're seasoned, and then I'll take one out. Ideally it's good to sort of work with green wood because it's softer, but a lot of the time, as I say, I allow them to season at home as they are, and then I'll just work them as a need be. Alright, so basically I've selected what I feel is suitable for a fork catapult, as it were. As I say, I've cut the forks quite a lot longer than I normally would. You know, I always do it, one because for mistakes, and two, you know, sort of just so that I can cut it all down and tailor make it to how I want it to be made. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, at the moment, as you can see, that fork there is slightly longer. So what I'm going to do is now is I'm literally just going to cut them both across there so they're at the level sort of height. Alright, so bear with us, I'm out of the camera now, using the, this is a Wilkinson saw. And I'm now just going to take a little bit off that fork there. Right, so that's the first one. Okay. And I'm going to use my keen eye of a woodsman and then take it off about there-ish. Oh, saw blade jump there. Okay, so we've got something like that. I'm going to leave the handle quite long at the moment. There's quite a nice natural curve in that for me to actually sort of put my fingers round. Okay, so I just put the saw away, and then my tool of choice for carving right now is the flex cut carving jack. It's basically like a Swiss Army knife for carvers, as it were. Alright, got loads of different gouges and blades and that on there, but the one we obviously just need for now is the flat, straight blade. Very sharp. Okay, and here we go. Right, so what I'll do now is take the camera off my old mug and put it down on the actual working process. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm basically just going to strip all the bark off it. Sometimes I do actually leave the bark on because it gives it. I've done them catapults before, especially out of hazel, and I've left the bark on, and once it's finished and varnished, it gives quite a nice spiral design with the varnish when it's finished on it. Strip some of that bark off. What I'll do is I'll leave the bark on the handle and just take it off the forks for now. Again, bit of knife safety, guys and ladies, always make sure that you see where the follow through is, where your hands are in relation to the blade. If you have got your hands in the way of the blade or in front of the blade, just be careful, do nice controlled cuts. Okay, right, so that's what we're going to go for now. Okay, now I'm going to just check it in my hand, see which side it actually seats better. It actually seats better that way. I've got that curve coming round on the right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually just going to flatten it off on one side, on this side, on the side that's away from you. That's where the bands would go over the top. Okay, so what I'll do now is I'm just going to trying to keep it in line with the camera, so you can see the process as I'm going through with it. Nice reinforced cuts, try and keep them controlled. Again, with the follow through, it isn't, even though I've got my thumb on the end there, it's kind of just off the end of the wood, so if the blade does slip, okay, repeat the process on the other side. Okay, so what you want to be getting is something like that. Okay, so it's flat. You haven't always got to do that. You can leave it as it were, but I like to flatten them off on the one side. Then what we're going to do now is about a little finger width down. What you're going to do is you're going to just put a mark with the blade all the way round, and that's where you're going to create your sort of gouge, if you like, for your when you wrap the bindings around, for when you put the bindings on for your bands. Okay, so I'm just going to push that in a little bit more. Bearing in mind, guys, and ladies, this is just an impromptu video, you know, I'm going to show you how I'm doing it quite quick. Once you've put a stop cut in all the way around, and then again just using the tip of your knife blade, just push there, reinforce cuts with your thumb, cut those sections out, and then just work it all the way around. I mean, there's some wonderful videos on YouTube of people showing you how they make catapults and all the rest of it, and this is just my chosen way of doing it. Whether it's the best way or the worst way, or, you know, this is just the way I do it. Okay, so I'm not getting into debates and arguments with people. This is kind of more for more of a kind of a survival come prepper sort of opportunity, I suppose. If you've got the time, then obviously it's good to take them home and fashion them up nicely and allow the wood to season and then varnish them and all the rest of it. But if we're just making a quick one, okay, so there's our sort of first notch there. Obviously I've gone a little bit quick and I've overrun a little bit there. Alright, something like that. Okay, on the first one. Alright. And then repeat that process on the other one as well now. About there. I mean, really all that is there, that channel, is just basically to accommodate your bindings. As I say, it hasn't got to be nothing special. Some people don't even do it. I mean, when I've made them out of deer antler and stuff like that, I've not even put gouges in some of them. I've literally just wrapped them round. Okay, so same again there, just put a nice little, you put your stop cut in all the way around, and then now you're just cutting a little channel all the way around the fork. Right, same again, nice and easy. Might want to cut that in a bit more actually. I always find doing one fork be perfect, and the other fork always seems to be a little bit awkward when I'm carving it. Just coming out there. I've gone a little bit further down than I want to on this one, but it's not a problem. basically what you got is something like that. Then what I would do now is I'd literally just put a bevel on the tops there, because the bands are going to come over the top. Repeat the same process on that side. And there, folks, is kind of a quick catapult ready to be banded up. Alright, so let's just tidy that little bit up there. And there you go, folks. Alright, so that's just a quick sort of how-to of carving a quick catapult, as it were. We're just literally, shame I just didn't bring any bands with me. They're at home. I didn't even bring a catapult out with me this weekend, because it wasn't that type of weekend. Alright, so there you go. That's just a quick catapult. Alright. Thanks for watching, folks. Please leave your comments. New subscribers, always welcome. I'm almost reaching 500 now. That's nice. It's taken me a long time enough to get there, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so comments, good or bad, you know, it's good to have them. Alright, and then thumbs up, and also subscribes. Alright, so take care, folks. All the best. Alright, take care.